What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the DJ Booth. I'm Joe Bunn.
Brian B.
Brian B.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? How you feeling? How you feeling? You all right then? You all right then? You all right then?
So good.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great.
When you introduce yourself, well, one of my dad's big things was when you introduce yourself and you shake their hand and not that dead fish shit. Somebody gave me a dead fish the other day. I hate it. I remember who it was. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. He dead fished me, but proper handshake. And then you always say your last name. So I always say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Joe Bunn.
Yeah.
Do you say I'm Brian B or do you say I'm Brian Bonacisi?
Depends
or do you
on
say Brian.
Depends on the audience.
Okay.
I feel like
If it's
only
DJs,
you can do that because you have two.
It's only
one
two syllables.
Yeah, like
Two syllables.
Joe Bunn.
Bunn.
yeah,
Interesting.
Like,
yeah.
You wouldn't pull a Brian Bonacisi?
If it's a formal setting, I'm going to see a CEO of some major corporation who's gonna spend a lot of money on me or whatever. I would do that. Yeah.
Okay. What about a high-end wedding planner?
No, because I'm kind of because it's kind of in the DJ world. So only time I ever say Brian B is in the DJ space, just because.
What about an American-born Italian? Is that an Italian name?
Maybe, maybe.
Jesus. Jeez. Speaking of,
Yeah.
I just had to go through and delete all of my data out of 23andMe because they went bankrupt. Did you see this? Yeah.
What 23andMe? I don't even know what that
The
is.
genetic thing where you send in your where you swab yourself and
I
send
did
it
do
in?
that.
Yeah, they went bankrupt. So now your data is corrupted. You need to Google how to delete
Wow.
all your stuff.
Okay.
So how
'Cause
did
they're
you
gonna sell
delete
it.
They're gonna
How?
sell
How,
it.
yeah, how did you delete it? They already
You have
got
to go in the settings and like tell them to burn it and like delete all
Wow.
your data. Yeah,
This just happened.
yeah. Anyway,
That's scary.
it just reminded me of that when you said like, because I was like, I wanted to see what Bunn was like. It was just a European like hodgepodge of Irish and English. It just
Yeah.
anybody with no top lip, like all those countries.
You want me to tell you a funny story though? This
Yeah.
is pretty good. It kind of ties in. So my grandfather is actually first generation Italian that was born in America. Basically,
Okay.
Actually, no, he was born in Italy.
Okay.
They brought him over.
Okay, right.
He was one of 9 kids.
Whoa.
So they didn't have a lot of money. I mean, they were immigrants, right?
Sure.
So like came here just trying to make a life.
The whole family,
The whole family came over.
all 9,
All
plus
9
the parents.
plus the parents.
Woo!
And he was number 9.
Oh wow.
So
the
what
baby.
was crazy was he had to do work. He had to work as a kid. And back then they had paper routes. I actually did a paper route. Did you ever do a paper route?
Yeah, I did a paper route.
Okay.
But I didn't do. I think I made my mom carry me and just whipped him out the back window out of a
Okay.
Buick.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I did both.
you
I
did
did
the
one.
bike?
I did the bike and the car.
Yeah,
And the car, I always hated those Sunday ones, right? Because those Sundays ones were
Oh, they
full.
weighed
All the ads.
3,000 pounds.
And then you get those people who are like, hey, can you porch it? And you'd have to like,
get
know.
out of the car.
Oh,
get
no.
off the
I would
bike,
throw it like as hard as I could at that door and be like, you want
Wow.
your porch to paper? Here it is.
smash the door.
Right. So, but my grandfather did a paper route as a kid.
Okay.
And he couldn't afford an alarm clock. And where he was on like the second or third floor of the house.
Uh-huh.
So what he did was he pushed his bed towards the window
Okay.
and he tied a string around his big toe. And
Is this made up?
totally serious.
Okay.
And it went down to the literally as long as it would go down to the ground of outside.
Okay.
And so his buddy, who was a little bit better off, had an alarm clock. Once he would wake up my grandfather by
Yank on the
pulling his
string.
pulling his
Stop it,
toe.
bro.
That was how he woke up to go do the paper route in the morning.
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
Ingenuity, right? Like back then.
That is a great story. If it's true, that's a great
Yeah.
immigrant story. I love it.
Is
Isn't
this,
that awesome?
this is in New York,
This was in California somewhere.
California.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? I was like, I would never have thought of that. But hey, you got to do what you got to do to
You
get
gotta
up.
do what you gotta do.
Right?
You got the paper route. Wow.
The thing about the
young-
paper route too is you don't get days off. The news comes every day.
That's a great point.
You know?
Yeah.
And so
And it's raining some days.
Yeah.
I
We mo-
did do that, I think.
we lived in Colorado for a little while, and my dad, we did this part time.
Yeah.
But we would do the mornings
Yeah.
because they also had the afternoon papers that you could do. Remember that? I don't know if you were
remember
that
that.
old or you.
Yeah,
this
I'm
is going
definitely.
back.
I'm older than you.
But they used to do an afternoon cycle of papers, and then they had the mornings.
Yeah.
So the mornings, sometimes the news would take a while because they were like a last minute story. So the printing would take longer.
Sure.
So we're sitting there at like, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. We got to be out of there by 5:30, but they haven't brought the papers in because they're still not writing it, but they're still printing it at that point.
The machine. Yeah.
And then they bring it, and you got your own little cubicle, and you're folding them all, putting the
Then a
rubber
bag if
band.
it was
The
raining.
rain. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Or in Colorado, it snowed.
Yeah.
So you always had to bag it. I'm like, I hate the bags.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and now kids don't have no idea what this is.
No concept of even the paper.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's funny, man. That's great.
Brian B. here. Yes, interrupting yet another stellar podcast episode. But don't worry, this is a value add, not just me rambling. Have you enjoyed the music finds I share on here? You know, the ones that Joe pretends he discovered first? Well, if you didn't know, I've got a Patreon where you can grab not only song lists, but also exclusive edits of mine. Yep, custom tracks that'll set you apart from every DJ still rinsing the same tired wedding set. Want fresh music suggestions every month? Go to patreon.com/DJ Brian B Official. Again, that's patreon.com/DJ Brian B Official. You'll be the DJ everyone's trying to figure out how you keep your sets so fire, and planners will start nudging their couples your way. And if that's not a hard enough sell, I don't know what is. All right, back to the episode before Joe tries to convince us that Sweet Caroline is actually a banger.
So I got a gear segment for you.
Okay.
So I get asked this a lot about cleaning our equipment. And I think I shared that pink stuff with you
Yeah,
before.
the pink stuff is gold. By the way, the pink stuff is in Publix and Harris Teeter and stuff.
Oh, it is?
You don't have to get it at Amazon necessarily. I did see it in the grocery store the other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other question I get now is with Macs, with computers. What do you use to wipe your screen?
Man, I don't use any. No, that's not true. There was a company that made this stuff. It's always a microfiber. And then the juice, if you will, the spray. At one point, it was called apple juice. And I guess they got sued.
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
makes sense.
I don't know exactly what it's called now. I could probably go get it. But if you probably still Google apple juice, and it was a little spray bottle, kind of like you clean your glasses with.
Right.
And I would just hit the rag, again, a microfiber, a couple times, and then wipe down the screen.
What are you doing now? You still doing that?
Apple juice.
Okay. This is actually, I got to shout out Drew Pierce. This was his recommendation.
Okay.
So this is called Miracle Wipes.
For electronics.
For electronics.
Ooh.
That's the clutch move. You don't get they have some general stuff
Does that
as well.
juice?
Does have a little bit, but it just is a pop off, and then it's got like the little wipe, like you would have like a mini wipe.
Speaking of, Saquon, did we ever clean this screen up here?
Yeah,
we,
feel
we
free.
might. We might because at some point, Saquon does a lot of recording here at night.
Yeah.
You know,
It was a late night.
They make records. And I was like, I don't know if somebody got super excited about this screen and thought it was like a giant touch screen.
Yeah.
But I walked in one morning and it was like a child had their hands all over it.
Wow.
And I was like, bro,
There was
what
a new
happened
person
in
here.
here last
Yeah.
night? He's like, I think somebody thought it was a touch screen. They got too excited about the beat I was making or something. And we're trying to fix it or point to something. And you know, when it's all blacked out,
right?
You just see every fingerprint.
Yeah,
so these are going to come in handy for this.
And it does come with a microfiber cloth. I didn't bring it.
Okay. The wipes came with this.
Comes with this blue little towel.
Show me the thing. I was going to say $9.99.
Yeah,
$16.
Yeah, $16, $15.97. But this lasts you all season.
Yeah.
So I don't travel with this. I just have one in different spots and then use it.
But wait, the juice would dry out if you pulled one out, though.
Oh yeah, if you kept it out, yeah. But like, I mean, they're all juiced up a little bit,
right?
And this lasts me, a couple months,
right? So I would say this.
I think it's important though, because
I've
tried. Do you use Windex?
No, dude.
Stuff? No.
I ruined a giant TV.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. A housekeeper or somebody came in and sprayed some chemical, harsh chemical on my TV.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
Right.
I had to take it off the wall, not salvageable.
Yeah.
So be very careful. These are good things. Shout out Drew Pierce for Miracle Wipes for electronics.
Get them. They're great.
Okay. I love it.
To the question.
Okay, let's hit one. Oh, your boy.
Justin the DJ.
Justin the DJ down in Dallas, Texas. Shout out LaForce Entertainment. How do you deal with a father of the bride who gives a super long toast? Bride is looking at you, giving the cutoff sign. do you just cut off his mic? Seems kind of rude and might cause problems. This is tough, dude. This is like an am I the asshole question.
Totally.
This just happened to Randy. An hour.
Oh, an hour. Toast.
1 hour.
Wow.
He was texting me during it going, yo, your boy just went 30. Then he texted me again, 45. Then he texted me again, 1 hour. Food hadn't come out. Catering's just back there with
Did he have a script? What is he, off the dome?
It was nuts. Randy said it had musical drops.
No.
It was crazy.
Full on script.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not off the dome.
Yeah.
And like,
what did he do?
He said that he even saw the planner walk over to the bride and kind of whisper something, and she basically shoot her away. Like, how dare you try and cut off my dad?
Yeah. Well, if he's paying for it. I mean,
he may or may not have, but what are you doing in this case?
I do try to get a sense of like who the toasters are, and when I arrive, I find out who they are. Like before we start the reception, like this is when people are walking in.
Sure.
I go, hey, who are the toasters I need to be aware of? Nowadays, I actually get their photo ahead of time.
Okay.
So I know who to look for. I don't even have to ask that question anymore. And I go up to them and I say, hey, how long is your toast? Let's talk about like mic etiquette, different things like that. I'm going to repeat it to them later, but I want to get a sense of how long is this thing?
That's a good thing. A lot of people would be like,
oh yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
And I say it to them again because they'll never remember it. You have to say it to them literally when you hand them the mic.
I do that, and they still hold it down.
Right, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I kind of get a sense, and then I also asked this in my planning call too with the client of like, hey, if your dad's speaking, how does he normally talk at events, or if he's done events, if he's a public speaker? I try to find out all that information as much as I can.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a situation where she's literally giving the cutoff sign, I actually have used an example like this. I'm like, let's just say he goes long. How do you want me to handle that? Is he funny? Could I play Oscar walk-off music and it would go over, or do you think that would be rude? So I kind of ask these questions in the planning call so that way, if I'm ever presented with this like day of and I didn't see it coming, I can kind of figure it out. If I didn't ask that question, I just was presented with this, I'm letting them talk, dude. I'm not cutting them off. I had one time where a bride goes, my grandfather is going to, he may go long. And his opening line was, well, I was born in 1949 on a Tuesday. And I'm like, we're starting with when you were born? Like, we got to go all the way through the generations. Lord. And about 30, 40 minutes in, they're like, you can cut him. I'm like, I'm not cutting him off. This is grandfather. There's no way.
No.
You can go up to him and get the mic. I am not touching it.
There's absolutely, to answer the question, I'm with you, man. There's no way to cut somebody off properly unless you've gotten that permission in advance. And the only way that I would do it is do some sort of Oscar walk-off.
I actually have a playlist with that.
Yeah, Oscar walk-off music that just like they do in the Oscars when they play off, and they don't care if you're Jack Nicholson or Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, they'll play you off.
Right.
And then just kind of almost like fade out the mic, or either take your second mic and be like, let's give Bob, the father of the bride, a round of applause.
That's a great another call. If I see a lull where I can insert that, I will.
Yeah.
Like, great job. I mean, you gotta be careful because if he's like only halfway into his speech and he's reading it, you don't want to do that because then you look like a douchebag.
Right.
But if you see it's kind of like he's kind of just doing off the dome, and it's a nice way to get him out of the situation if he's stumbling. Yeah. You know, the other thing I try to do too is I try to encourage people to do these toasts early, because I had an event where I was just telling Saquon this. We had an event at a venue that had we were outside, 10 o'clock, it's done. They waited. The dinner went super long. They want to do the toast after dinner for whatever reason. We have 30 minutes. And we still got to do a toast. Something in 5 minutes. This thing went 25 minutes. And it's a hard cutoff. You can't go a minute after this.
So you never even got to dancing?
I played one dance song. That was it. I'm like, that's never happened in my career. This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But
that's embarrassing.
I'm like, you just hired me.
Yeah.
And
I basically set up gear for the toast.
And play dinner music.
Wow.
And that was like, ever since then, that's when I started approaching these differently. Because I'm like, and the bride actually, she understood. She's like, I get it. You know, he went long, and it was her dad. And, you know, we didn't get to dance.
Here's the thing, man. Number one, like 2 weeks ago, the father of the bride kind of got to the end of his, and he didn't give like a a proper toast or like a resolution.
Yeah, he didn't say
and he
raise
just
the glass.
right. He just stopped talking, and like I'm looking across the room at him, because I had given him the mic, and then I literally had to go like, "Are you done?" Like I actually verbally said out loud, "Are you done?" And he goes, "Yeah," or whatever. And I walked over and grabbed the mic, and because I only use one mic.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. I've always used one mic. The toast mic is the MC mic.
But what happens if that goes bad or something happens?
What you mean?
Like, I don't know, just random stops working, cuts out. You don't even have a wired backup.
I have a wired backup.
Okay, you do
100%.
that. Okay,
Yeah, 100%.
Plugged in.
No, it'd be
But I'm usually like behind the booth,
Okay.
controlling the volume.
So
Wow.
I'm usually
So if things-
standing. Let's say that all the way over there where Saquon is the DJ booth, and then you're the toaster, and I'm the DJ/MC. Blah 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 blah. Ladies and gentlemen, father of the bride, Brian B. I hand you the mic, and I just kind of step out of the frame. So I'm standing beside the guy, but for whatever reason, I think I was across from him, and he just stopped talking all of a sudden. And I was like, "Are you done?" Like,
Wow.
out loud, like verbally, not on a microphone. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm done." I was like, "Okay." And then I run over there and get the mic and blah blah blah. But and then my other point was, I think that there is a weird thing in your brain, or like it's genetic disposition to like some people have no self-awareness. You know what I mean? Like what in like most people I know that get up there to give a toast, especially if it's after dinner, they go, I realize I'm the only thing between y'all and the dance floor. So I'm gonna rip through this kind of thing. Like we hear that every weekend. Those people get it.
Yeah.
These people that are pontificating, if that's even a word, are going on and on, are really at that point making it about themselves.
Right.
Yeah, you can tell sometimes.
I cannot imagine doing that at somebody's wedding.
Yeah.
Even if it was my own daughter. I mean, I still think in 5 minutes, if I had a daughter, 10 tops, I could say everything I wanted to say about her
Right.
and her new husband or bride or whatever you want in under 10 minutes.
Right.
And still be meaningful and poignant and emotional, and I'm out. And we're on to Brian B. ripping up the dance floor.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but
Interesting.
one day that will come when my sons get married. I guess I may do a toast.
You'll definitely do it at the rehearsal dinner. That's on you.
Yeah, but the rehearsal dinner is different, man.
I know.
I feel like you can do. There's no rules.
That's why I try to push as
Yeah.
many people towards that as
Absolutely.
I can.
Yeah.
I've
been at a rehearsal dinner before, and enough people got up to where I was like, oh shit, man! Like all the wedding party got up, and I'm in this, and I had not planned on speaking, but I got to rip something here, and I'll just come up with a story off the top of the dome, and again, I'm 5 minutes, I get a laugh, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
At my sister's wedding, I had something prepared. I got a couple chuckles, a couple of emotional moments. I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Hey, want to make more money at every single event? Let me put you onto something. It's called S-Start. It's the event platform made by a DJ for DJs. With S-Start, you can offer apps like live photo sharing, real-time slideshows, song requests, and even seating charts. And you can upsell your clients like a pro. It's simple, plug and play, easy to use, and your clients, they love it. Join their membership for the best pricing and watch your profits soar. Go to sstart.com right now and book your free demo.
Is that a wrap on this one?
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff, everybody. You do the outro.
Well, we got to thank our sponsor,
Okay.
DJ Event Planner.
Shout out.
So if you're looking for a CRM, check them out, djeventplanner.com. We also want to thank S-Start for sponsoring this podcast.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Check
Thanks.
us out every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
See ya.
See you.